Hey guys, so now I'll show you a little bit about how I clean my tank. So with it being heavily planted, you have to move a lot of stuff around. Also because a lot of those hiding spaces in here are, what I have my coolie loaches, they hide in there. And if there's any babies, they would be hiding in those areas. So I kind of have to move everything out of the way, clean this area. And then once I'm done cleaning this area, I go with the second bucket. I move this stuff over here, and then I clean this area, and so on. I take 50% out of the tank, so I take 2 buckets pretty much, and I distribute that in my gardens, because you have to know, if you have any kind of fish tanks or ponds or anything, you have an amazing fertilizer on hand for anything that you're growing. These fish waste and things of that nature are some of the highest amounts of ingredients in so many of your organic fertilizers. If you go look them up in the stores, a lot of them are, fish waste and things like that. So it's a great thing to have, and it's always good to have a free product that works really, really good for what you have going out there. So I'm gonna do a little bit of this. So as I was saying, I'll move some stuff around in here. You'll see what I mean. First, I'll take these plants, any kind of extra floating plants that I have to put back down into the gravel, I'll move first, because if I put those up above the tank and get them all in one spot, when I'm done, I could reorganize everything nice and neat without having to chase plants the whole time that I'm vacuuming in here. So I always try to move everything very gently, because like I said, there are things that live under these decorations and these rocks and plants. So I try to settle them nicely somewhere towards the middle or other side of the tank. Be really careful with this rock stuff, because you don't want that falling into your glass. It'd be a nightmare. There's a little coolie loach down there. I don't know if you could see him, but I'll show them to you a lot more so later when we do feeding time. So now I have enough room cleared over here. So now I'm gonna get my vacuum going. Got that started. And I just go down in the gravel. You see there's a lot that needs to come out. The filters do a great job. I have a lot of filtration on here. I have 2 filters on here, hang-on back filters. Aqua Clear 110s. So for 46 gallons, they're moving a lot of water in here. So it allows me to keep in here what I want without going too excessive or anything, but also not worry about exact numbers or anything like that. And as long as you stay on your maintenance, that's what's very, very important to keeping a healthy fish tank. You always want to look into the nitrate cycle, the whole nitrogen cycle, and how to actually cycle a tank. That's the most important thing going into starting a fish tank, an aquarium. And once you're established, frequent water changes is very, very important. So every 2 weeks I do a 50% change, and that keeps me about right with these guys. Just kind of get all the spots I can. And then when we move everything the second time, we'll get all the spots we couldn't get the first time. Gotta be careful with some plants. You don't want to go too crazy with movement, because, it'll disturb their growth and could become a problem for them. I'll show you in a second what I do with my plants too. Okay, that's about a bucket. So we're gonna do one more of those as well. But you see with my plants here, I wedged them in between this Coupang rock that I have which is way better than planting it in the substrate, because a lot of times when you plant it in the substrate, it'll suffocate these roots and won't allow it to grow as big as they can. So when you embed it in your rock, it's holding it in place and allowing all the nutrients from the water to get to it, but it's also giving it plenty of room to breathe and grow and move around. So that's your optimal way to plant most aquarium plants, is not really fully burying them in the gravel. Some plants do okay that way, but I've learned the hard way that you won't grow a whole lot of anything if that's what you're doing with all your plants. So we learn as we go, and so far so good with this method. Put some of this back over here. One of the big hazards to plants too, having them, or drawbacks, is you always have to clear your filter tubes, because they will take away all the water flow. They clog up your tubes like this. You can see it's very clogged up. So you have the little brushes. Clean that up in the tube there. See, now that allows it to flow the way it's supposed to. This one here. Again, I just try to pinch it between a couple pieces of driftwood there, rather than actually submerge it or put it into the substrate, I should say. I'm going to submerge. It's all submerged. Move this guy back. Yeah, but this is basically the ins and outs of how I clean, and then I just got to reorganize as I go and do various different designs. I have to find ways for the plants to just kind of hold on, and yeah, redesign. I'll do another bucket of this, and as I said, I'm going to take this bucket here, I'm going to bring this back to my tropical garden back there and put all of these excellent nutrients right into my soil. So